Hello and welcome to Fun English Stories. Today, you will practice your English speaking using the shadowing technique. Shadowing means you listen carefully and then you repeat the sentence right after me. Try to copy my pronunciation, my speed, and my feeling. Do not worry if it is difficult at first. Just try your best. This is how you become better step by step. Today's story is long, so you can practice for a long time. The story is told by a girl, and she is the main character. The title of the story is I Took a Night Train and My Life Changed. Are you ready? Let's begin. Remember, pause the video if you need more time to repeat. My name is Emma. I am 24 years old. I live in a small city and I work in a cafe near the train station. Every day, I make coffee and clean tables. My life is very simple and sometimes very boring. But one night, everything changed. That day was very hard. Many customers came and I was very tired. My boss was angry and I felt sad. When my shift ended, it was already late at night. I did not want to go home. I wanted to go somewhere far, somewhere quiet, somewhere new. So I went to the train station. The night train was still there. It was going to the capital city. I had never been there before. I looked at my phone. I had some money, not much, but enough for a ticket. I bought the ticket without thinking too much. I felt scared, but also excited. When I got on the train, it was almost empty. Only a few people were inside. I found my seat near the window. The train started moving slowly. The city lights became smaller and smaller, and soon everything was dark. I felt nervous, but I also felt free. After some minutes, a man came and sat across from me. He looked about 40 years old. He wore a long coat and held a small bag. He smiled and said, "Long trip tonight." I nodded and said, "Yes, I just wanted to leave the city for a while." He said, "Sometimes leaving is the best thing we can do." I did not know what to say, so I just smiled. Then a young woman walked into our cabin. She had long hair and tired eyes. She sat next to me. After a few minutes, she spoke. "Is this seat taken?" I said no and moved my bag. She thanked me and closed her eyes. She looked very tired. The man across from us took out a book and started reading. The train was quiet and slow. I looked out the window again and I started thinking about my life. I thought about my job, my small apartment, and my dreams. I always wanted to do something more, but I was always afraid. Afraid to fail, afraid to change, afraid to try. Suddenly, the train stopped. It stopped in the middle of nowhere. The lights inside the train became weaker. People started to look around. Then we heard a voice from the speaker. "Dear passengers, we have a small technical problem. Please stay calm. We will continue soon." But minutes passed and nothing happened. The young woman next to me opened her eyes. She looked worried. "Is something wrong?" she asked. I said, "I don't know, but I think we just have to wait." The man across from us closed his book and stood up. He looked outside. "This area has no signal," he said. "It might take time." Some people in other cabins started to talk loudly. Some were angry, some were scared. I felt my heart beating faster. After some time, a train worker walked through the cabin. He looked tired. Someone asked him, "How long will this take?" He said, "Maybe 1 hour, maybe more." People started to complain. The young woman next to me put her face in her hands. "I really need to arrive tonight," she said quietly. I asked, "Why is that?" She looked at me and said, "My mother is in the hospital. I'm going to see her." I felt very sorry. I said, "I hope she will be okay." She smiled a little. "Thank you." The man across from us listened and then said, "Sometimes delays protect us from something worse." We both looked at him. He said, "You never know what will happen next." Then, suddenly, the lights went out. Everything became dark. People screamed. Someone shouted, "What is happening?" My hands started to shake. I could hear people moving and talking fast. After a few seconds, emergency lights turned on, red and dim. The train worker came back running. "Please stay in your seats," he said loudly. "We are checking the problem." I could feel fear in his voice. The young woman grabbed my arm. "I'm scared," she whispered. I said, "It's okay, I'm here." But honestly, I was scared too. Then we heard a loud sound like metal breaking, and the train stopped very suddenly. People fell forward, bags fell on the floor. Someone cried in pain. My head hit the seat in front of me. Everything felt slow. For a moment, no one spoke. Then people started to shout again. "Are we okay? What happened?" The train worker shouted, "Everyone, please stay calm." I tried to stand up, but my legs felt weak. The man across from us was helping another passenger. I saw blood on someone's forehead. I felt dizzy. And that was the moment I realized this night train was not just a normal trip. Something serious was happening, and my life was about to change. After the train stopped, everything felt very quiet. Then, slowly, people started to move again. Someone turned on a phone flashlight. Others did the same. Small lights were everywhere. The train worker spoke again. "We need to check the front of the train. Please stay inside." But people were scared. Some wanted to leave the train. I held my bag close to me. The young woman next to me was shaking. I asked her, "What is your name?" She said, "My name is Lily." I said, "I am Emma." She tried to smile. "Nice to meet you, Emma." The man across from us came closer. He said, "We should stay together." I nodded. "Yes, I think that is safer." After some minutes, 2 train workers came back. They said, "There is damage on the track. Another train cannot come soon. We may have to wait a long time." People started to panic. Someone shouted, "What if something worse happens?" A child began to cry. I felt my chest become tight. Then suddenly, we heard a scream. It came from another cabin. Everyone became silent. The scream came again. "Help!" someone shouted. Without thinking, the man ran toward the sound. I stood up too. Lily grabbed my hand. "Don't go." But I said, "Someone needs help." We walked quickly through the dark cabins. People were standing in the hallway. They looked afraid. When we reached the cabin, we saw a woman on the floor. She was not moving. Another woman was crying next to her. "Please help. She fell and hit her head." The man checked her pulse. "She's alive, but she needs help fast." Train workers used their radios, but there was no signal. We had to wait. We helped the woman sit up slowly. She opened her eyes. "Where am I?" she asked. "You are on the train. You are safe," I said. She looked confused but calm. We stayed with her until she felt better. After that, we went back to our seats. But I felt strange. My heart was telling me this night was not over yet. About 20 minutes later, I noticed something. Lily was not next to me. Her seat was empty. I looked around. She was gone. I stood up fast. "Where is Lily?" I asked the man. He looked surprised. "She was just here." I felt fear again. I started to walk through the train, calling her name. "Lily? Lily?" No answer. People were whispering. Some were looking at me. I went to the train workers. "My friend is missing," I said. They looked serious. "When did you see her last?" "Maybe 20 minutes ago," I said. They said, "We will search." But the train was long and dark. I could not just sit and wait. I started walking again. Then I saw a door between the cabins. It was open. Cold air came in. I slowly walked closer. "Lily?" I called. Then I heard her voice. "Emma, help me!" My heart stopped. I ran to the door. She was outside the train, on the ground. She had fallen when the train stopped. She hurt her leg. "I cannot stand," she said. I shouted for help. The man and 2 workers came running. They helped carry her back inside. She was crying in pain. We wrapped her leg with a scarf. We tried to make her comfortable. I held her hand. "You are safe now," I said. She looked at me. "Thank you." I felt tears in my eyes. About 1 hour later, another train finally came. We were taken to the next station. Ambulances were waiting. Lily was taken to the hospital. Before she left, she held my hand. "Emma, don't forget me." I smiled and said, "I won't." After that night, I could not stop thinking about everything: fear, help, kind people, brave moments. I went to the capital city anyway. I stayed there for some days. I visited places, I talked to new people, and something inside me changed. I was not the same girl anymore. I felt stronger. When I went back to my city, I made a big decision. I quit my cafe job. My boss was surprised, but I knew I wanted more from life. I started studying nursing. I wanted to help people, like people helped us on the train. Months later, I received a message. It was from Lily. She said, "I am better now. Thank you for saving me." We started talking often. She became my friend. 1 year later, I moved to the capital city. I worked in a hospital. Sometimes when I take the train at night, I remember that first trip, the fear, the darkness, the kindness, and I smile because I know that night train did not only change my direction, it changed my heart. Sometimes we think small decisions mean nothing, but one small decision can change your whole life. I went to the train station just to escape for one night, but I found my future, and maybe you will too. Now it is your turn to practice. Listen again, repeat after each sentence, copy the voice, copy the feeling. This is how you build your English speaking power. Thank you for learning with fun English stories. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more long shadowing stories. See you next time.